Oort Online is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. And this week, we got walls. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the ConflictNerd. This is April 12th, 2015. Welcome to Oort Night. When it comes to things that you want without realizing that you want them, I think it's safe to say that walls might fall under this category. In the vast majority of voxel games, you're going to be building using blocks, obviously, the faces of your structures being cubes. Oort Online seems to think along a different set of lines, but I think we all knew that already. What you're seeing here is my attempt at using walls, the latest addition to Oort Online. Crafted in the same way as stairs and slabs before them, walls are going to let you get that little bit more detail into your builds, as well as giving you a little bit more space inside of your structures. Now, something that's not related to Oort Online directly, but I think you might be interested in regardless, I'm going to be holding an Oort Online building contest later this week where the winner will be able to receive a £20 Steam voucher or the equivalent for their region. So keep your eyes open for that a little bit later this week. So in the previous episode, I asked what you all thought of the new textures. Well, ladies and gents, as always, the results are in. Ardos T said, I absolutely love the texture updates overall. What I don't like though, sorry, is the glass texture. While I can appreciate that it's difficult to get good looking glass, the new one feels more like a see-through box with a metal frame. Maybe adding a slight shine to the glass would help it look better. And you know what? I can totally see where you're coming from with this. I do like the look of the glass blocks, but perhaps a slight translucency to them would make them pop just that little bit. That said, perhaps the transparent block works better overall on a wider variety of builds, and is just suited to the world a little bit better. I don't know, it's a grey area, I suppose. Maybe we could have both? A translucent block and a clear block? I don't know. Nicholas Wheeler said, I could say I like the new Gleam as my top pick for texture changes, or leaves for updated foliage, or perhaps hatches and door upgrades. But the greatest thing about the 102 update so far has been Gleam and Gleam colors. There's something hauntingly beautiful about a crystal, glowing element that always intrigues me in all games. You know what? The Gleam is actually absolutely beautiful. I'm really wanting to get a collection of it together myself, just of every color, so that I can start using the various colors for various districts or various sections of all of my builds. I think that could look absolutely incredible from a distance. And then Havoc40k said, I particularly like these stone bricks, now called stone chunk, because of the way it reacts to what's around it. It's not just the same pattern repeated over and over, it has an offset between layers, adding an excellent realistic look. Not too crazy about the new grass block though, it doesn't look very grassy unless it has tall grass on top of it, it just looks like the new mold texture. The stone chunk texture is definitely in there as one of my favorites, and I can definitely see where you're coming from on the grass blocks. Perhaps it would be interesting if a system were in place that allowed bare grass blocks to grow tall grass over time? That could work. And finally, QuashGuy2150 said, I like the new leaves texture, but I really hate how they've put way too much detail into doors and hatches. So I can see where you're coming from with the detail that's in doors and hatches, but I have a feeling that we'll get used to this as the game develops. We've already seen how complicated and how detailed containers are going to be, so I reckon we're going to see that same level of detail in many, many more things before Oort Online gets finished. And so we move on to the community question for this episode. With walls and slabs giving greater levels of detail to your builds, how far do you think this should go? Are these slabs and walls enough, or would you like to see blocks broken down into smaller blocks, for example 1/8 the size of a regular block? Obviously this could be used for detailed building, but perhaps not so useful for regular players who aren't as interested in construction. I suppose what I'm saying is, make an argument either for or against mini blocks in Oort Online. Go nuts, and I'll pick out some answers to show off on the next episode. Alright folks, that's going to be it for this week. Thank you very much for watching. I've been the Conflict Nerd, this has been Oort Night. You're looking fabulous, by the way. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.